But I just love the idea of helping men, because I think society now, realistically always, but life is hard. It's hard. Life is a struggle consistently, and there are ups and downs. And so I just like the idea of being able to somehow, in some of my videos, encourage men to love themselves and love other women and just like love life.
I mean, really, people like to disrespect my crew, but the fact is that you know my name and I don't know you.
On the internet and through social media, more and more of us in the 21st century live our lives in two irreconcilable categories. In one, we're treated with respect, deference, admiration. People speak to us with flattery and praise. And in the other, we're spoken to in a denigrating, demeaning, and above all, demanding way.
Even though I did enjoy it, it was becoming such a source of my anxiety. I felt unsafe, and I ultimately decided, you know what, this is not for me.
Someone is signing up to my OnlyFans and actually paying me the money just so they can leak the photos or the videos to either my sister or my mum.
I don't really talk to my parents, so like I don't really care what they think. Like, I never made them happy. They were always annoyed and disappointed in me, no matter how hard I tried. So like, I'm sure they're not happy about this, but like, they were also not happy before. Like, I don't care. Like, just do what you want to do, okay? And stop worrying about what your parents or your kids might think one day.
She opens the message, reads it, believes it's all true, and then for some reason, she likes to send the photo to me and show it to me. Now, if you don't know, it is very embarrassing when your own mother is sending you pictures of yourself like that. I don't know why she feels like she has to send me these pictures. I'm the one who took them. I'm the one who filmed them. I'm the one who posted it online. I know what it looks like. I don't need my own mother to send it to me. It's just really annoying, and I did have to block her for a few days because I didn't really know what else to do. Because of this, I had a lot of arguments with her and kind of stopped talking to her as well.
I can already hear the "I told you so" comments, or
What were you expecting?
just hear me out, okay? As I started to grow and move up in the rankings or whatever, more random people from all over the world started subscribing to me. So at first it was kind of this comfortable circle of people who I generally knew of, or they at least knew me from my content. It was people who didn't know who I was, and it was a lot of people. And I slowly began having problems with my subscribers. And by having problems, I mean harassment and disrespect and disgusting behavior.
Think for a moment about a good-looking teenage girl who has a job at McDonald's and who also posts pictures of herself to Instagram, maybe records videos on YouTube, maybe even has opened up an OnlyFans. There's a huge difference between those two. And when you take beauty and sexual attraction out of the equation, it only gets more perverse, and the psychological effects become more demented and dementing. I have seen people, young and old, who start posting images of themselves on social media hugging a chicken, asking you to donate money to pay for the veterinary fees so that this chicken could have some operation, so that its health can be, so it could live. Chicken that's been rescued from a farm. If you think it has a tremendous effect on an 18-year-old, a 28-year-old, or a 38-year-old to be told that they're beautiful, how about an 18-year-old, a 28-year-old, or 38-year-old who is blatantly not beautiful, but is being told that they are an inspiration, that they're morally uplifting, that they're oh, I wish my 18-year-old were more like you, that you're this fantastic symbol of hope and progress. And yeah, one way or another, I find when those people really are tremendously unattractive, nevertheless, in the comments section, people are finding ways to flatter them. That, oh, the light and the warmth in your eyes, you're a beautiful soul. There are a lot of people who want to hear that at 18, at 28, at 38, at any given age. There are a lot of people whose experience of this life is warped by that positive input much more than the negative input they get in the other side of their lives. Which, as I say, I would characterize above all else as just being demanding. When they turn away from social media, when they turn away from YouTube, Instagram, OnlyFans, whatever they use, Facebook even, when they turn away from the internet and face the real world, they're asked questions like, what have you been doing with your life in the last 5 years? Really? Where do you think you're going to be 5 years from now? And they may be asked that by a grandparent. They may be asked by a coworker, maybe asked by a cousin, a friend, right? It doesn't mean to insult them, but it really is quite a contrast from the effusive praise they're bathing in. And I use the word bathing advisedly, because what I'm dealing with in this video is that people turn to exhibiting themselves on the internet. On Instagram, sure, people decide to monetize their physical beauty on OnlyFans, not just for the money. One of the strangest and most powerful motivations of all is indeed self-esteem, is indeed trying to overcome feelings of worthlessness, of self-loathing. And to do this by, in some sense, selling your body, by in some sense, dabbling in sex work so that you can feel that your body is worth something, so that you can feel like you are worth something rather than nothing at all.
I'm just getting really vile comments, people messaging me saying disgusting things, completely unwarranted, just disrespectful. And I knew that kind of thing came with the territory, deja vu. But like I said, I wasn't expecting anyone to even find me. Like, I didn't think that would really be a problem, and it wasn't a problem for so many months. And I thought that once it started, I'd be able to handle it. But I quickly realized that maybe I'm not so cut out for this, because it's infuriating. And it's probably infuriating for everyone. I just feel like other people just might be better equipped to deal with that kind of stuff, or they just let it like brush off. That was not the case for me. I was constantly pissed off and anxious, to be honest.
Some people were like, you're so fake, like this is not you, you're not being yourself. And I really appreciate some of the comments that I've got from girls who were like, if you knew Gwen, you would know, like if you actually watched her content, you'd know that this is her, because the amount of times I'd have a boob slip or a vagina slip and I'd be like, this is dumb, but like, oops, sorry, I'll blur it. You know what I mean? Like, I've just never cared, and I don't care, and I am a sexual person, and I'm just down to help break the stereotypes and the norms that is our society, because our society is just all about shame and conform, and feel ashamed and hate yourself. And I'm like, this is so ridiculous. You are fine just as you are. And society just wants you to hate yourself so they can make money off of you.
Then it started where they would like find me on OnlyFans, and then if I didn't answer them on OnlyFans, they would reach out to me on other platforms. And there was a few situations where I feel like I was being harassed. There's this weird thing that happens where I guess because they think, it's like they think that since they see me in a more intimate light, that we somehow have a relationship with each other, even though I have no idea who they are and this is my job. They think that it's like they think that even though that they paid for a photo of me, that I for some reason wanted to send it to them.
Just because you can make your account private so that like, people have to pay to actually view your content, don't think for a second that it's private, because pretty quickly after I made content, it was posted to Pornhub, shared around with people on Reddit forums. There's like random little like Discord servers where people like share my shit and like don't pay for it, which is unbelievably annoying.
People really do think that they can just talk to sex workers any type of way. I've even had a few guys ask me out, which, hey, don't do that. That was just like kind of funny, but actually not funny. It's kind of scary. I was just being treated so poorly, and I just kind of realized, like, if I was being treated like this in any other type of job by customers or just by anybody in my life, I would quit that job, I would cut those people out. So why would I deal with it here?
And the other problem is, once you've started doing OnlyFans and you started making content and putting it out there, it is pretty much out there forever. I mean, even if I deleted my OnlyFans and even if I stopped making OnlyFans stuff from now on, the stuff that I've already posted is already in the hands of weird people who like sending it to my relatives. And they could also share it online on different websites, different forums, and that could also be a problem if in the future I wanted to find a job.
And anytime anything is on the internet, it is on there forever, sis.
Really, I think there should be a law that says you're not allowed to refuse someone a job for stupid reasons, like they posted a picture of their big toe on the internet.
And then, yeah, another one, this was very common, was like what your future kids will think, because, you know, you'll have like a kid and they'll go to school and everyone will bully them because your mom was a porn star, whatever. Again, valid, definitely valid. But yeah, I don't really know if I have kids, and if I did, I would raise them to respect women and all of those capacities, and to also not give a shit what other people think. Like, if my kid came home and got, well, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't work, but I just, in theory, like, if my kid were to be bullied, I'd be like, darling, you're fucking incredible, and this person clearly hates themselves and is still insecure. Do your best to give them love and light and be kind to them, but stand up for yourself, because this is bullshit and you're amazing. And also, your mother's actions and decisions shouldn't impact your life. So just tell them all of that and like stand up for yourself.
I tried for such a long time, probably about 10 years. I was trying to do the whole dating thing in Japan. I was on dating apps, websites, I was in guest houses, meeting women. I was doing everything I possibly could to try and get myself one of those cute Japanese girls. I did my hair nicely, I got nice clothing, practiced my Japanese until it got to an extremely high level. But in the end, I just could not get myself into a relationship with a cute, young, attractive Japanese girl, which was the whole reason why I was there in the first place. And after years of rejection after rejection after rejection, started to really chip away at my self-confidence. I started to feel like, what's wrong with me?
Like I said, I kind of hope to make porn that helps people to feel better about themselves and love themselves. Like, eventually, I'm still like trying to figure it out, but that would be like the ideal underneath goal of my content, would be to help people accept themselves and love themselves.
The young man that I've quoted in this video, there's only one young man, whereas I quoted a couple young women. If you look at the sequence of videos leading up to his decision to join OnlyFans and record it around that time, it is self-explanatory the extent to which this decision was not merely financial, but for him had everything to do with recapturing some sense of self-worth. After years of rejection, he says 10 years of failing to get the kind of girlfriend or kind of wife he wanted when he was living in Japan, and he admits openly he only moved to Japan to try to seduce or meet a certain kind of woman and have a certain kind of relationship, which he utterly failed in. After feeling revolted by his own body, his words, not mine, he bought himself weights and started exercising at home. He decided he would whip himself into shape. He would put himself on this website. And of course, part and parcel of that, he starts to meet new women and have new kinds of relationships in new ways. All right? Everyone can sympathize. Everyone here can sympathize with the concept of doing porn for the sake of your self-esteem. There's nothing hard to understand about it. You know what? The whole thing with rescuing a chicken, and asking people to donate money for the veterinary bills, the various forms of self-defeating heroics, acrobatics, and people get themselves thrown in prison so they can be some kind of woke-tivist on the internet. Yeah, it's, again, not hard to understand. Not hard to understand at all. I think the problem is that in the 21st century, in the white Western English-speaking world, we tend to think about the primary contrast in our lives being between socialization and isolation. We're not thinking about the contrast between what's real and what's fake. Right? Isolation, I've had years of my life, years of not talking to another human being at all. Not beyond people asking me, do you want to pay 10 cents for a bag with your groceries? I lived in Germany. The only interactions I have with anyone in Germany were when I bought groceries and they asked me in German if I want. I've lived in France. I've lived in Taiwan. I mean, recently when I was living in Taiwan, No contact with any other human being aside from saying hello when I was walking into the gym to the security guy where you got to show your card. Really, for years at a stretch, I used to be a scholar of Buddhism. In many ways, I led a more monastic life than the Buddhist monks. I know what it's like to live in silence and isolation, and I know what it's like to be striving to live a better life. What I see as the profound and corrupting influence of success on social media, of finding the seeming semblance of friendship on the internet, even if it's just 10 or 15 people, even if it's 15 people saying you're doing a wonderful job rescuing those chickens, or 15, 30 people on Instagram telling you you look great in your bikini. It doesn't take a whole lot, right? And then not questioning what is the work you have to do to be the person that you want to become. Right? You live your life with this irreconcilable contrast between how people treat you, your own friends, your own family, your coworkers, your boss. You may work at McDonald's, you may be in class at university, which again, sometimes demeaning, sometimes disrespectful, but above all demanding, where people are asking you, hey, who are you going to be? What are you going to accomplish? Oh yeah, really? Prove it to me. Show me what you got. Show me how talented, how self-disciplined, how hardworking you are. And if you're going to do that, it's going to mean a lot of time alone, right? It's going to mean a lot of hard work in isolation, not this instant gratification of the crowd applauding, of this kind of adulation. This is this one world. And then there's this other world of warm embraces, appreciation, adulation, people telling you you're beautiful. And even if you're not beautiful, they find some way to flatter you and tell you that you're a beautiful soul, you have this light shining through your eyes, that you're an inspiration, blah, 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 which can be even more warping to the human ego. And what we lose track of so easily is that one of these worlds is real and one is fake, one is true and one is false. And what we're training ourselves to do is live in isolation while imagining that we're surrounded by friends. And we're never learning the self-discipline, how to educate ourselves, how to develop ourselves, how to train ourselves, how to make the most of isolation. Because what we're doing with our time is simply to try to score more points, to gain more followers, to get more of that positive feedback from those false friends.
Dun, 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 dun.